Greetings, loved ones. Today, we're going to talk about how intimate partner abusers will try to block their victims' escape. We're going to talk about 8 strategies to help you safely leave your partner who is abusing you. Help us get these messages out. Please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit the button and the notification bell, and please share these messages with others because you never know, just by doing so, you could save a life. Most people feel scared and confused when they think about separating from an abusive partner. The dangers of a severe assault and even homicide increase during the separation period. So if you alert your partner to your plan to leave, this could put you and your loved ones at risk. As you consider the following 8 tips concerning the separation process, remember that you know your situation better than anyone else. Safety planning with a domestic violence advocate will help you choose the steps that are right for you. Abusers are always going to try to block your escape if they have knowledge of what you're doing. So here's some 8 tips to help you get through that. Number 1, the abuser threatens you. What is your move? Save evidence and document threats, violence, and control tactics. We're going to discuss how to do this in an upcoming episode. Keep multiple copies of this record somewhere safe outside of your home. For instance, email it to someone you trust or keep a copy of it at work. And if possible, tell someone else at the time it happens so you have a simultaneous report which might help you in court. So number 2, the abuser realizes you're going to leave and he threatens to call Child Protective Services. What is your move? This is a common abusive strategy which I have encountered in almost every single domestic violence case I have handled, and I have handled thousands of them. An abuser, they're going to say to you that they have the ability to take your child away from you by making a report. In most cases, this is a lie and they cannot do this. But if you have a history of drug or alcohol abuse or mental health problems, you may feel especially vulnerable to these charges. You do not have to let this threat control you. Write down the threat and the date and the time. You might want to call Child Protective Services yourself and let them know what's going on. But keep in mind, if you make this call, they might launch an investigation into your children's safety. You will need to show that you are doing your best to protect your children. Child Protection Services is not your enemy. Your abuser is. Okay, so your abuser realizes that you are leaving. Number 3, he threatens to call the police. So what is your move? When the abuser says they're going to make false domestic violence charges against you or self-injure themselves to get you in trouble, document, 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 document. Document everything. Tell someone you trust about what is going on and contact an advocate from your local domestic violence agency to develop a safety plan. And if they're doing this on Messenger on your phone, text messages or voice messages, save them because that is great evidence. Don't stick up for that person who abused you or defend them to the police or to the courts. It's really important that you don't defend them and give excuses for what they're doing. So what do you do when the abuser threatens to leave you penniless? This is another common theme that I encounter with victims of violence who are always in a panic. He says he's going to take all my money away. He says he's going to take my kids away. Well, I want you to know that he can't do this. Your move. I want you to learn about financial abuse. This is another topic we're going to discuss in the coming weeks. What you need to know is that there are laws to protect women and children who are victims of violence and prevent abusers from, quote, leaving them penniless. In the meantime, consider secreting away some money and valuables somewhere like at the home of a trusted friend or family member or in a secret bank account as you prepare for your departure. Get a free copy of your credit report to see if your partner has used your name without your consent. Also, ask one of the main credit bureaus like Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to put a fraud alert on your account so your partner cannot take out new debt in your name. Consider canceling joint credit cards and withdrawing half the money from joint bank accounts. I'm going to make a comment here. Half the money. Don't take all of it, half of it. Remember, your partner may find out about these actions, so be cautious if you think these actions might put you at risk. Financial fraud and identity theft are crimes, even when they're perpetrated by a spouse. The process to reclaim your money can be long and involved. It is better to prevent the theft in the first place, and if you can, but there are ways to become financially independent after leaving an abuser. Number 5, you see signs that the abuser is about to explode in anger or violence. What do? Find a believable reason to leave the house. Prepare to leave at a moment's notice or just walk out. Have emergency cash, clothing, and important documents and phone numbers stashed in a safe place, like at a friend's house, for example. Mentally rehearse your escape ahead of time and make sure all the pieces are in place. If you have children, make sure that you have figured out how to keep them safe too. Number 6, the abuser threatens to kill you. I will kill you if you leave me, he says. What do? First of all, I want you to understand you need to take this threat very seriously, especially if the abuser has previously strangled you, sexually assaulted you, has threatened you with weapons, or has used weapons against you before. If you have time, contact your local domestic violence agency and develop a safety plan. Again, the safety plan. That is what is going to save your life. Ask for emergency shelter and be sure to mention the death threat, because survivors whose lives are in immediate danger often receive top priority for placement. If you don't have time, just get out. Your life is more valuable than anything else. Alert the police to the threats, bring a domestic violence advocate or a friend with you to the police if possible, and let the police know if your partner has access to a gun. You can then file for an order of protection. We discussed protection orders in previous episodes, and you can find out more about them on our YouTube channel. So go back and look at our other episodes if you haven't seen them. Number 7, the abuser threatens to distribute images of you naked. Unfortunately, with cell phones and selfies, a lot of people take pictures of themselves and send them to their partners. So what are you going to do when your abuser threatens to distribute images of you naked? I want you to know this is a crime called revenge porn. And it could land the abuser in jail no matter if you gave images to him unwillingly or if they took those without your consent. The Cyber Civil Rights Initiative has a 24-hour crisis line and website with resources to help you with this threat. Cyber Civil Rights Initiative. Look it up on Google. If you still can, protect yourself from this threat by never sharing images of yourself naked with anyone ever. Don't do that. You may think it's like fun to do that when you're in a romantic relationship with somebody, but those pictures can end up where the whole world can see them. So don't do that. Number 8, you suspect that your communications and movements are being monitored. What do? The abuser might use hidden cameras, a GPS in your car or your cell phone, or apps installed on your smartphone to track your location, monitor your conversations, read everything you type into your phone. The abuser could access the camera built into your laptop, your notebook, or phone without you realizing it is on. If you suspect that you are being monitored in this way, do not alert the abuser by suddenly removing or turning off a monitoring device. Instead, find another secure way to communicate so you can set up your plan to leave. For instance, if you're being monitored from your phone, leave your phone at home or at a friend's house while you visit your local domestic violence agency. In general, the safer you are day to day while in the relationship, the safer you will be when you leave. Build yourself a support system for you and your children. As much as the abuser will allow, get involved with other people and activities outside of your home and encourage your children to do the same. This will make it easier for you to leave and establish a new life when you do. With 1 in 3 women experiencing domestic violence worldwide, the question is not if you'll encounter a victim of violence. The question before God is, what will you do when you do encounter them? You could be the person who saves a life. You're all called. We are all called to be champions for justice. And those who suffer violence need to know that those who love them and those who don't even know them will reach out to them to give them the help and the courage they need to leave before it's too late. Please help us get these messages out. Someone may realize that they're a victim or may realize there is a way to safely escape their abuse, or you may be able to recognize someone who is a victim and help them. So subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hit that like button and hit that notification button and share these messages with others. You could save a life. If you're a victim of violence, you have been told lies for way too long, and I am about to tell you the truth. I want you to listen to me. You're valued, you are loved, you are intelligent, and you are beautiful, and God does not want you to suffer violence. He wants you to live free from violence in peace and tranquility. There is a way out. It's not your fault, and abuse is not love. If you are suffering violence from your partner, reach out to somebody now. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation, call 911 for help. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about coercive control and when your partner tries to make you think that you are the one who's crazy. Until then, God bless you.